Hello, hello, welcome back. So I'm happy to report here at the top of the stream, if you missed the stream yesterday, I streamed again whenever I did my Mythic raid. It went pretty well. It actually went pretty well. On Silken Court, I was honestly surprised at how well Frostfire performed. I knew it would be pretty decent, but it was actually pretty fucking good. So we're going to start the stream off today by just reviewing kind of how Frostfire performed, where I could have improved some areas. I'm sure that there's some things I could have done better. And also just like kind of go over gearing and stuff and just to make sure that we're set up for the future. Okay. So yeah, let's get started by pulling up the logs. I just want to review the logs real quick just to look over those. So I'm sure that there's more people who have played Frostfire now. Let's start with statistics. Let's see, where has fire gone? Fire should be up, but I'm curious to know exactly where it's gone up. Okay, so it was at the bottom. Now it's been bumped up a couple tiers to the middle here. Let's go at a range of 1 week. Oh, and then we have it all the way up here. Yeah, it's already ahead of Arcane in terms of the statistics on bosses. If we look at individual bosses, so this is just damage. If we go like Silken Court, look, fire is actually getting pretty close to the top here. Brood Twister, it's whatever on Brood Twister. Sikrin, pure single target, will be a little bit lower. Bloodbound Horror, it gets Ignite Cleave, so it's decent. So yeah, it's not overpowered by any means, but it's actually pretty fucking good. So here's my guild's Silken Court kill from yesterday. Just to show y'all, because I feel like the last two bosses is where you actually care a lot about what spec you're playing, because you're going to spend a lot of time on those bosses. If you haven't killed them before, if you're progressing, it'll be a bit. You'll have to spend a bit to get them killed, right, as you learn to fight. So Silken Court, I got some recommendations for y'all. So yeah, Frostfire did pretty fucking good on this boss. This was also, I did a cook on this that I think you should do too. So if you're working on this boss, I highly recommend that you run Firestarter instead of Pyrotechnics. Firestarter is really, really good on this fight. Like really, really good. Because it allows you to line up your combustion very, very easily with the damage amps. So like basically what I did in this log, and this is why I think it was pretty good, was I set up my combustions so that I would always have them for the damage amp. I would always either have an SKB ready or I would have combustion for the damage amps.
Are you talking to me, Mark?
Yo,
I had my
what's up?
headphones down.
Oh,
I was in the other room.
Yeah, hold on. I was trying to see if you were on to play Super Revive, but that was like a while ago. I forgot I was in Discord. TBH. No, it's too late. I already turned on the stream. Oh, I'm dropping out. Yeah, I forgot I was in the Discord channel. All good. See ya. Okay. Sorry about that. I forgot I was in Discord, and I was yapping to my friend who was AFK. He's like, "Are you talking to me?" Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, so yeah, here's Fury the Sun King, right? Here's Combustion. And then let's look at the damage amps. So if we go to enemies and we can go to buffs, it's going to be Entangled is one of them that we care about tracking. And then the other one is debuffs. And it is the Stinging Swarm. And that leads into Stinging Delirium. Or maybe it's the other way around. Stinging Swarm is Stinging Swarm leads into Delirium. That's right. Okay. Started as Arcane, been playing Frost recently, now tempted to try Fire. Do you know when the full guide will be out on YouTube? Still underway. I don't have an exact time. It's in the works, but it's. I mean, if you just watch the Sun Fury guide, if you're looking to not wait, you just want to know like right now. You can just watch the Sun Fury guide and then watch the Sun Fury or the Frostfire update, and like it's actually not too different. Pretty similar overall, but yeah. So as you can see here, so the fire starter on the boss lasts like 40 seconds. Because no one's popping their cooldowns on the pole. So that's like the perfect case for fire starter, is if the entire guild is just like holding their cooldowns. It's like ideal, you could say. So I think Frostfire Fire will be better than Frost for high Mythic plus. I think Frost probably still has an edge, but you can probably do more damage as Fire if you have the appropriate key level. The issue is for Frost, you don't need the mobs to have like a ton of health. Like you don't need to be able to like sit on them forever, but for Fire, you kind of need to like get going fast. So it's probably not even a Frostfire angle. It's probably a Sun Fury angle for Fire. Where Fire has like been kind of stunted is the single target. And you can get a lot more single target now because you're so buffed. You're like way better than you were. But I think Frostfire is competitive. It's just you need Frostfire takes a while to get started. Like it's one of those specs that like just doesn't come in and burst. Like most specs will come in and burst a pack, and like if you're doing like a 10 or something, like by the time you finally get to your damage, the pack is already dead. So it's not going to do very well. But yeah, Sun Fury will have more burst. So I think it'll probably do better for most people's keys, but if you're doing like 15s, 16s, I think it could possibly be better. You're losing slows though. You don't have as many slows. But anyways, so my first combustion of the fight is over here at 44 seconds. You can see how I also kept this Fury of the Sun King for it as well. So basically on my opener, I'm just doing Fire Starter opener. I'm not worried about trying to use combustion right away. I'm just trying to make use of Fire Starter. And then the boss gets entangled right here. As the boss is getting entangled, I'm doing an SKB into that. Here, we'll show in the timeline. It's easier to understand here. So yeah, on the pole, I'm just doing like Pyroblast in the Phoenix Flame, Pyroblast, Fireblast, Pyroblast, Fireblast, Pyroblast, Fireblast, Pyroblast, Phoenix Flame, Pyroblast, Frostfire Bolt, Fireblast, Pyroblast, Pyroblast, Phoenix Flame, Pyroblast. I'm just basically waiting. I'm just biding time. And then here's the SKB. I use that first SKB as soon as it comes up. And I throw out my Meteor there. And then over here. So this is where the boss is getting damage amped, right? So you can see it here. Entangled happens. This is where Entangled goes out. This is the damage amp, right? So I'm doing an SKB into Combustion. This Fireblast was slightly late. It should have been here. Pyroblast. I was running Ice Flows, and it's really annoying. Sometimes you'll accidentally queue a Pyroblast, so this was a mistake, but we remedied it afterwards. And then, yeah, the Meteor. The damage on this was pretty good. Like, damage on the boss during the damage amp. Let's see, so... I actually could have played this better. This is still rank 1, but could have been a lot better if I just, like, not screwed up that one. But yeah, it's like right here. This window is what we want to see. So yeah, Entangled. Oop, let me make sure I grab the whole thing. So yeah, Entangled happens right here. This is the damage amp for Entangled. We just cut it to that damage amp right there. I start blasting. And then following that, my ignites are huge because I'm igniting off the boss, right? I think my graph is actually... Oops. I want to show his. I want to show mine. I'll see where it spikes. Yeah, it was during this window. But yeah, I basically had an SKB for this. So I had one SKB before, one SKB for the damage amp. It hits during the damage amp. I'm just sending them on cooldown. I get another SKB here for the second damage amp, and that's where I use my second combustion. So the whole reason why you're using Firestarter is to set up so that this combustion lines up with this damage amp. And then your next combustion also lines up with a damage amp. And then we have like the time afterwards, right? So intermission starts here. We leave intermission. I use another combust. I need to have this combust up sooner though. Let's see, did I shifting power between those two? I think I need to force the shifting power so I can get that one to line up. Yeah, so it's like right here. Yeah, so this is the second combustion. Maybe I hold this shifting power. I don't think I need this shifting power, actually. I can probably shifting power sooner and then not use this one. Actually, I might need this one just to get to line up. I don't know. It just depends. But I think this shifting power here, if it was sooner, if I'd done it like earlier on, I might have been able to fit a second one in. Actually, hold on. I think it actually needed to be afterwards. Okay, so the shifting power actually should have been between here and here. Okay, so I think what I do is I keep this shifting power just the way it is. I think I skip this one and I do it after this bust. And I need the shifting power to be after this bust at the start here. So I would use... I would either use this sooner or I would use it later, but not right here. This is not where I want it. I don't want it right before this combustion. I want it after this combustion. So it'd be up at what, 340? That's during lust. I want it to be up here at 330 exactly. So this one needs to be at 230. So I'd either need to use this like 12, 15 seconds sooner or just not at all and then use it after this bust to get it to line up. Yeah, I was Spy Master in every dump phase, but I don't think that that's necessarily correct. I think now that I've done it once, if I were doing it again, I would Spy Master here, I would Spy Master here, and then I would hold my Spy Masters for this damage amp right here. But I wasn't sure if I would have combustion for this, and I didn't, so it was actually safer that I didn't use it there. But I would force it to be up here, right? I would force the combustion here by doing the shifting power after this combust. So that would bring this next combustion here that's in the damage amp. That would be 12 seconds sooner, which would be during the amp. And that would be a Spy Master. And then I think I would skip this one. And I would hold until the end of the fight from there. The reason why I was going for these two damage amps with my Spy Masters is because I wasn't sure if I would line it up. Because that was still unknown. But now that I can look at my own log and see, I just need to make sure that this combustion happens sooner by doing the shifting power after this one. Get this one out sooner. Use the shifting power afterwards. And then if I have a Spy Master on this one, then maybe I don't Spy Master the first one. Actually, I'll probably still Spy Master the first one. There's not a huge downside to that. But yeah, I would save it after that. So it'd be Spy Master, skip. And then Spy Master here. And then skip, and then Spy Master. Yeah, that's how I'd probably do it. Some Fury still going yeah. When does season 1 end roughly? So we're getting the patch 10 or 11.0.7 on December 17th. That's not the end of season 1 though. The end of season 1 will likely be February 17th, 18th, or maybe the week after that. It'll be like midway through February. Mid to late February. What's up, Panda Rampage? Higher keys above 10, maybe fire's better. Lower, Frost still has an edge. Yeah, Frost has got the burst. That's the thing about fire is like it takes a while to get going. You have to like have time with the pole for fire to do damage. And if you're playing with like Fury Warrior, Enhancement Shaman, and you're doing like a 10, you're never gonna really get to your burst. Like you can still do good damage. I did a key yesterday. It's like a miss 10. I had Enhancement Shaman who was like a little under geared, and I had a Fury Warrior who was very, very geared. And I was able to still do good damage because I just used Flame Strike a lot. But like, where Frostfire really gains its value is whenever you don't have to Flame Strike. So technically, if you have the mobs living for a long time, you would actually only Flame Strike starting at 8 targets in your combustion. The only time you would Flame Strike otherwise is if you have SKB ready. You do that at 3 or more targets. So that one's pretty much always happening. But you want to like not Flame Strike until you reach like higher target counts. And then for like outside of combustion, it's like 10 targets. It's a lot of fucking targets. Like you need a lot of targets to be to get your damage out with Flame Strike. Like it takes a lot of targets. In fact, I was looking into this yesterday. So here, I'll give you some information. I was doing some AoE sims. Right now, there are like 3 AoE builds that I'm considering. One is the default that I think everyone should use. And then there's 2 more that are like situational, but one of them is very, very strong. It's just, it does nothing in single target, which is kind of crazy. It's like, here, I'll just show you. So it does basically no single target. But at 2 targets, it's like even, and at anything more than 2, it just suddenly pops off. So up here in the top left is single target. And this is a sim using single target set versus Mythic Plus talents versus 2 other Mythic Plus variants that I'm trying to cook up. So as you can see, Mythic Plus is 4% behind in single target. Having the Living Bomb talents as well is 6.4%, so you're taking a pretty decent chunk out of that. And then this is the special one. Blast Zone, Deep Impact, Living Bomb, Flame Strike. What this talent build is this over here. So basically with this build, you don't go Phoenix Reborn. You don't even go into, potentially not even this Phoenix Flame talent, but, you know, that's if there's, like, no single target whatsoever, which there always is in Mythic Plus, right? It's not really realistic. This is not really realistic for Mythic Plus, but you pick up all the Living Bomb talents and the Flame Strike talents, and you get Deep Impact. Okay? So look at how this thing... So it's like really bad in single target, right? 13% behind. But look at how good it is in every other case. So at 2 targets, it's instantly even. 0.4% behind at 2 targets. It's essentially even at 2. 13% behind in single target to even at 2 is a fucking crazy jump, right? It's better than the Mythic Plus build. The Mythic Plus build doesn't budge on 2 targets. It's basically the same, right? 4% behind right here. But this Deep Impact hook shoots up. It's like already even at 2 targets, okay? And then you add a 3rd target to it, and suddenly it's 10% higher. And it's actually 10% higher than the Mythic Plus build. Because this is the Mythic Plus build at 3 targets, right? 0.8. 0.8 over single target. They're very close, right? 3 targets, single target, Mythic Plus build. Basically the same thing. But the Blast Zone cook with Deep Impact, 10% above in 3 targets, right? That's a fucking crazy jump. And then you go to 4 targets, right? On 4 targets, now it's 16% ahead of single target. And look at this gap between Mythic Plus and it. It's 15% ahead of the Mythic Plus build at 4 targets. Then you go to 5 targets. Now it's 20% ahead of single target. And it's 15% ahead of Mythic Plus still at 5 targets. That's a pretty considerable jump. 15% ahead of Mythic Plus. It's kind of crazy. And then we go up to 8 targets. So I'm going to jump up to 8. At 8 targets, it's 22% ahead of single target. And it's still considerably ahead of Mythic Plus. You can see Mythic Plus here is at 8.7. This is at 22.0 at 8 targets, right? Just clearly the best at 8 targets, right? And then we can go even further. So here's 10 targets. I'll make it so you can see it. At 10 targets, it's over 10% above Mythic Plus, right? We increase it to 15. This is where we're starting to get to some crazy pulls, right? At 15 targets, it's like 12% ahead of Mythic Plus still. Mythic Plus is starting to gain on it just a little bit because Flame Strike is gaining value. And at 20 targets, this is the last one I did. It is 13.9% ahead of single target, which is kind of funny because it was 13% behind in single target to begin with, right? It's just flipped. But it's like double the ahead of Mythic Plus. Mythic Plus is only 7.6% ahead of single target at 20 targets, right? That's not really that crazy. Although single target does a lot, right? That's a surprising amount. It's just you need the mobs to live, obviously. But this build is at 10 million at 20 targets. So yeah, it's interesting. I think that this build could potentially be something to play. It's just you need the right group for it because you really are like sacrificing a lot of single target. It's a tough pill to swallow. Dropping like 13% single target is like really bad. You basically have to have every boss be like 2 target cleave for this to be worth it. But if you never had single target, if you were like only doing more than 1 target always, I mean, it's even at 2 targets, right? So it only goes up from there. So what I did is I added this build after I found this out because I was trying to explore Mythic Plus options and figure out if there was something else we could do. Because I just wasn't happy with how much AoE we were getting out of the normal Mythic Plus build. What I went ahead and did is I added it to the talents build page. And I'm classifying this build as Council Cleave. And I actually took out Phoenix Flame on it because this is the point of this build is to never have a single target, right? So if there's a fight this tier like Primalist Council where there's no single target whatsoever, right? Because the boss is like you're fighting like 3 bosses at the same time. Always. That's the case for this build. But I went ahead and summarized the information I just covered in the Wowhead guide. So it says, compared to the raid build, it is 13% behind the single target, even at 2 targets, 10% ahead at 3, 20% ahead at 5, 22% ahead at 8. Compared to the Mythic Plus Flame Strike build, it is 9% behind in single target, and then it's only ahead after that. 3.6, 10%, 15%, 12%. The way you play this build is the same as single target, except for you don't have Phoenix Reborn. But you'd play it the same. Yeah, you would still, so like, you don't actually have any more Flame Strike than like, you don't really have that much more Flame Strike than like the Mythic Plus build. So for the Mythic Plus build, you're taking Mark of the Fire Lord and you're taking Quick Flame. As this build, we aren't even taking Majesty of the Phoenix. Like, Majesty of the Phoenix is Flame Strike damage. Doesn't even take that talent. It takes Living Bomb instead. So, you actually just would play it exactly the same. There's no difference here. The only difference is you'll passively have Living Bomb doing more damage because of Blast Zone Explosivo. And you'll feel that you'll have less Phoenix Flames because you won't have the CDR and you won't have the Phoenix Reborn talent. So you'll have less Phoenix Flames. But it doesn't really change all that much. Was the priority to follow on Spenders to get hot streaks while combustion when you have the Frostfire Bolt? Yeah, so that's covered in the guide. So if you're looking for the priorities, just go to the rotation page. But I'll break it down for you really quick. So it's pretty straightforward. So like on the opener, you're doing a meteor before you scorch, and then you're pressing combustion and fire blast like right away. And then you cue the pyroblast from this, and then you pyroblast again. That's the opener. But in terms of the actual combustion priority, it's like Meteor, but needs to land in combustion. SKB hardcasting, spinning your Power Blast on Hot Streak. Improve Scorch. If it's about to fall, you want to refresh it. And then it's Fire Blast, Frostfire Bolt if you don't have excess frost up, Phoenix Flames. And then Frostfire Bolt if you have like, if you're over the GCD cap, which is 0.75 seconds. I think it's like 104% haste. Something like that. But yeah, Empowered Frostfire Bolt just goes above Phoenix Flame if you have no excess frost currently. That's it. You just have to track excess frost. You don't necessarily have to track excess fire. It's probably good to track it still, but you don't necessarily need to. How's fire doing after the buffs? Good. So the question is there a way that we can make this build that just like absolutely pops off at 2 or more targets? Is there a way that we can make this build good in single target? Is there a way to get some single target damage out of this thing? Because if we can make this thing do single target, then we'll be in business, right? We just need it to somehow get single target. So yeah, how do we get single target this thing? That's the question. I don't think there is a way. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like 13% behind no matter what, but if there was a way to get it to not be 13% behind, like maybe only 5% behind, it would totally be the new Mythic Plus build, but I don't think there is a way. For lower keys, probably Sun Fury. It's more bursty. Burst is better in lower keys because like the targets will live shorter. What's the best Mythic Plus build right now? It's on my Wowhead guide. You just take a Quick Flame and Mark of the Fire Lord, and otherwise you're taking single target. You drop the Scorch Talents for it. Yeah, see, the closest we can get is -10. It's funny, it actually drops Meteor for that. Is Fire the best spec right now? No. I just wish Living Bomb was better. Living Bomb is still kind of weak. So like even at 10 targets, right? And this is where this deep impact cook is kind of popping off. Even here, if we look at the damage breakdown on it, you can see that living bombs aren't even doing that much damage. They're only like 8% of our damage. And sure, we're getting ignite from them too, but like it's kind of pitiful. Like with all that investment, it's still only doing like 10% overall. Yeah, so if we break it down, it's like 8.5 is from the explosion. The spread explosion, 1.7 is from the other one, so it's 10% overall. I just feel like that's weak. Like, I think they should probably double the amount of living bomb damage. Just double it. With these changes, do you have a prediction as to which mage spec will be performing the best in keys above 12? I mean, you can play Frost and probably do fine. That's the safe pick, right? It's proven. But honestly, like, you could probably make fire do some shit. I think if you had the right team and you step around it, like, I mean, look at this gap, dude. Like, if you were doing pulls and you could survive the bosses, if you could just, like, somehow not troll on bosses as this build, which would be hard because you're doing, like, 13% less single target, but, like, if you could somehow make it work, this build just does so much more damage in AoE. But yeah, it's the single target that really is kind of getting stuck. It's kind of the same problem as before, right? Like, you don't want to drop too much single target. And the Mythic Plus build that I'm recommending, and you'll see it recommended elsewhere too, it's like, it's just very comfy. Because you don't have to give up much at all. It's like, here's the Mythic Plus build, right? You're just picking up, so this swap, by the way, Pyrotechnics over to Majesty of the Phoenix, is a very, very easy swap to make. Like, you're basically losing nothing by doing that. And then over here, you're taking out Wildfire and you're putting it into Mark of the Fire Lord, which is like a small loss. You're taking out Scorch Talents and you're picking up Quick Flame. And Master of Flame. And you're keeping the capstones the same. And this build loses only like 4% single target. And it gains a lot of AoE. So it's like pretty good. It's probably the most efficient swaps. It's just, you know, it doesn't have the high ceiling in AoE. The highest ceiling is definitely this talent right here. You need this talent, you need this talent. The problem with Living Bomb is there's so much investment. So like if you want to go into Living Bomb, you have to pick up, well, you could drop Majesty of the Phoenix, you have to pick up Lit Fuse, you have to get Explosive Ingenuity, you have to get Mark of the Fire Lord, which means you have to path through Quick Flame or Convection. And then you also need, and here's where the issue is, you need Explosivo and Blast Zone, which means you either have to drop Meteor or you have to drop Phoenix Reborn and From the Ashes. And that's a tough sell. You have 1 point here, right? So we can move the Fevered Incantation over, like that's not a big deal. But the problem is Explosivo on its own here is nothing. You need Blast Zone. Like, you need Blast Zone. So you have to give up something. It's either going to be Meteor or it's got to be Phoenix Reborn. But, like, something's got to give. And that's where you lose a fuckload of single target. Not the Meteor. The Meteor actually loses you barely any single target. It's actually very minimal single target loss for Meteor. But then you're losing AoE, because Meteor is really good in AoE. So it's kind of defeating the purpose, right? The court of public opinion won't allow what? With these changes, do you have a prediction on which Mage Spec will be performing in keys above 12? Yeah, the court of public opinion doesn't matter. What matters is what people actually play. Well, no. You still get Meteors. It's just you get them from Firefall. Meteor as a talent is actually not a big single target thing. It's like pretty minimal. It's AoE that Meteor is really good for. Like having to cast Meteor. You still get Meteor damage though because you have Firefall. But yeah, in AoE you definitely want Meteor because you're not going to be doing like, you know, at like 10 targets, 12 targets, you're not going to be doing Fireballs anymore. Or Pyroblast. You're going to be doing, well, you'll still do Fireballs because you'll have empowered Frostfire bolts, but you won't be doing Pyroblasts. So dropping Meteor just loses you like a bunch of AoE. It's not necessarily single target you're losing from that. Although it is a little bit. I'm just saying like the bigger loss is the AoE loss. And then it's like, what's the point, right? If your point is to try and maximize AoE, you want more Meteor, not less Meteor. But if you were to go the route of just dropping Meteor completely, it would only be a 10% loss in single target instead of 13. But yeah, I don't know if that's worth. It doesn't seem like it. How much DPS do you lose if you don't go SKB? What, like Unleash Inferno? I mean, Frostfire does not really synergize well with UI at all. Like, because you want to proc Combustion as much as possible because of Empowered Frostfire Bolt. So SKB is kind of like your bread and butter. I don't think you can does the meteor turns one target in the living bomb work with the firefall procs too? I don't think so. We can test it. Here, let's find out. So there's a living bomb. Right, it didn't spread. It just exploded on its own. And then let's get a firefall going. Just gonna cast a bunch of these. It does, yes, it does. It does. Yeah, it does. It's not spreading though. Hold on, let's see if we can pick up the spread talents. I think we need the other living bombs to make this work. Wonder if it works with convection too. Dude, this thing kind of cooks. Dude, my living bomb is actually kind of owning. What the fuck? Yeah, it just keeps going up and up and up with more targets. I'm getting ogged though. But that was like, until I stopped, it was like over 4 million on this, which is like a lot higher than it is whenever I play the Flame Strike build. Yeah, I'm testing out this shit right here. Blast Zone. We could try the Mythic Plus. Yeah, my weak auras are updated for Frostfire. Mist would be a good key for it, you're right. I think any 3 boss dungeon is probably fine with it. So it'd be like Mists, Dawnbreaker, Arakara. Mist, Dawnbreaker, Arakara. I think that's what we want for this. Yeah, I did my raid as Frostfire last night. It was pretty good. Fire was kind of owning, no lie. It's not like enhancement shaman or anything, but it's pretty good. Enhancement got a huge nerf. Yeah, tell that to my fucking enhancement shaman alt. Spec still just shits out damage. Right, still, like, I'm an alt in here. I'm having troubles with the arcane guide. What I don't exactly understand is why should I queue missiles if they proc instead of queue barrage and then eventually missiles? Yo, I feel like that question makes me think that you like fundamentally don't understand nether precision. You should probably make sure you review the parts of the video that talk about nether precision. I think you're misunderstanding missiles completely. Missiles leads to nether precision, 2 stacks. Nether precision being consumed by blast or barrage leads to aether vision. Aether vision is the 4 charge refunder. You need a 4 charge refunder in order to barrage. Typically. Or like an orb or like touch. There's like other cases too, but like generally you need like a refunder to get back. You're wanting to stack that with another precision, so it's like if you have another precision, then you can barrage with the refunder. Or if you don't have another precision, you don't have clear casting, you can also do it. But if you have the clear cast, you want to have another precision up for the barrage. It's 10% or 20% more damage on it. Would you say that you probably get punished pretty hard damage-wise if you don't play fire somewhat perfectly? So you're saying like how punishing is it in terms of like the damage loss? I don't think it's particularly punishing, no. But I mean, it is still punishing. Every damage spec is. There's no spec where you can just go in and like press all your buttons wrong and do damage, except for like in the past BM was like that, but it is like a very flat damage profile though, so like you have to like play well the whole time. It isn't like just do your burst well and then you're just GG, right? Ret, I guess Ret too, maybe. Yeah, there's some specs where you can be a donkey and still do good damage. But yeah. Convection? No, convection is like kind of a bad talent. I don't think you ever take it. You pretty much always take quick flame over convection. Outside of combustion SKB, how do you spend your conversion resources? We already covered that. We just covered that like less than 5 minutes ago. I'm not going to go over that again right now. Yeah, it's on the Wowhead guide if you want to read it up. But this with this build, don't we want to spend on Pyro regardless of Firefall IV procs? Well, yeah, Pyroblast munching is not something you ever do, right? Sure, not munching hot streaks. It's like no one online right now. Am I currently on the PTR? No, I'm on live. I'm on NA now. I mean, with the current build and miss, low mob count for the most part, rarely uses Flame Strike, so Convection will at least give it a bit on single target on the bosses. Not really. It's kind of a dog shit talent. There are still cases where you'll Flame Strike, regardless of the target count. You know why? Because Flame Strike isn't necessarily only about target count, it's also about the situation. You Flame Strike if mobs are going to die. It isn't just Flame Strike at 8. It's also Flame Strike if the mobs have low health. Because you won't get your ignite damage out. This is covered in the guide. If you go to Fire on Wowhead, and then you look at Rotation, and then you look for the Flame Strike target count, right? Right here. Notice this line. If targets have low health and die quickly, use Flame Strike in AoE. In keys below 12, most packs will qualify as low health. Is it better than Arcane Raid? Probably, yeah. I think Frostfire might be better than Arcane Raid on most bosses. Here, we'll try out this build in the mist. Flame Patch? No, I don't think you should play Flame Patch. Just play Quick Flame. Fuck Flame Patch. You feel like you don't get a lot from Mark of the Firelord? You're wrong about that. Yeah, I'm testing the Living Bomb. We're doing Blast Zone for this. I think in logs you always see Frost ahead of Fire, but that's because Frost is like more variant. It's got more RNG. Has a higher end. Even if Frost and Fire are equal, like let's pretend, because it's not the case, right? But let's pretend that Fire and Frost do the same single target, which is just not the case, right? Frost does more single target, but let's just pretend. If Frost and Fire did the same single target, Frost would still be predominant in the logs because it has a higher ceiling to how much RNG you can have, right? Like you can get really lucky and do more damage. Even if the average is the same, right? The higher end is higher for Frost. So what you're going to see in logs, which is usually what people are talking about whenever they're asking what the meta is, or if something's better, is this better than this, right? Usually they're talking about like the highest parse, right? And that's the thing. Is parses are always just, you're looking at someone who did the damage well and also probably got lucky. A little lucky, right? Or else they wouldn't be the parse.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And now you learn the true lesson of the void. Embrace who you truly are.
Oh, I have normal ice block still. Oops.
Embrace who you truly are.
Almost a one push. What's great is that 2 targets, I'm like chilling, man. It's all good. I'm actually doing more than Mythic Pluses this build.
Choose wisely.
Embrace who you truly are.
So this is like as bad as my damage could be because I didn't have cooldowns for any of this, and I'm not going to pop them here. It's actually not as bad as I was expecting. Here we'll have cooldowns though.
You're almost there.
Embrace who you truly are.
Were these stacked Spy Masters?
You did it. Good guess.
Open your mind to the whispers. Embrace who you truly are.
I swear I already gave this guy int. I don't know how he doesn't have int in it again. Let's save this SKB.
You did it. Good guess.
Embrace who you truly are.
We have a big fucking go here. I think it's boss though.
You're almost
Yeah, it's boss. Alright. Time to shine.
We're gonna have so much fun.
I should not have Frostfire there. Oopsies. I got a excess frost right as I did it. Build.
Open your mind to the whispers. Embrace who you truly are.
Build.
One of us is
Embrace who you truly are.
Empty. Actually, no, it's this thing, I think. That's such a fucking toxic lineup right there. Dude, I have like no single target in this group. That's crazy.
Let's do it again.
We actually took so long on that boss.
Aw, okay. No worries. Hey, this doesn't look right. It doesn't look right at all.
Tear the side withers as the gorn feast. Must
I regret pressing combustion there.
Embrace who you truly are. Embrace who you truly are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with this. I think it's doing pretty well so far. Surprisingly so. We'll mirror image that. Really?
Embrace who
Rip.
you truly are. I told you that you were destined for great things. Rejoice, for you
Okay, how much living bomb damage should we get?
of all.
8%. Yeah, that's what we were speculating. It's like 8 plus the 2, so it's like 11% roughly. Honestly, it felt pretty okay. Felt pretty okay. This was the build. Yeah. Keys below 12 most packs will qualify as low health. Yeah, that's right. Because if you don't have like a good, let's say like 15 to 20 seconds to hit the mobs, after you've already gotten going, which could take about 15 to 20 seconds, then like you're just never going to get your damage out. It takes a long time for Frostfire to get going. What's the weak core I have for SKB? Can't find on my GitHub. It's on Wago. I'll add it to GitHub right now. Hold on. Yeah, it's just the one on Wago. I'm playing Fire and Raid. I like it a lot more. Did they break this? Can I not log in? It's this one right here. I can't log in to change it, but here's the SKB one. There it is. I added it. SKB tracker. It's right here. Jelly TV with the Twitch Prime. Appreciate you. Welcome, welcome. You want this build I have right here? Well, let me fix it because this is not good for Mythic Plus. I did not put in the talents I needed. It should be... This build should actually be... this. There we go. It's crazy. Here's the build. I've been informed by my associate that YouTube is on the rise. Good job, YouTube. Keep it up. Thanks for coming out. I'm a bit of a casual, really, due to limited time, but because of your work, so really appreciate the guides. Awesome. So what target count and low keys do you consider AoE? Like 5. I kind of mix and match. Honestly, it's just all vibes. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. In Mythic Plus, whenever it comes to Flame Strike, it's about just the vibe. You just have to like feel the pull out. Just like, just think of like how long the pull's gonna last, right? So it's just about like looking at who I'm with, looking at how much health the mobs have, feeling if people are going to do a bunch of damage or not. There's no way to really tell you a number. There's not a number. It's just all vibes. You just have to like feel that you should flame strike because the mobs are going to be dying somewhat soon. I think a good way to start it is just start by doing no flame strike. And then maybe as the pack is getting lower, then start flame striking. Unless it's like everyone is ripping their cooldowns right away. And in that case, just flame strike straight from the jump. But I've only done 2 keys now as Frostfire. This is my second ever key. So, since they buffed it. So, like, I could change that as time goes on. That's just how I'm feeling right now. Yeah, the Shadow Priest was not doing any damage. So, it actually helped my case because it was nice to have no shadow damage coming in. Wait, did he never PI me? Not even once? Did he PI the fucking Death Knight? The Death Knight has no PI. Who was getting PI? Yo, that priest didn't PI anyone the whole key. The priest only PI'd themselves. The priest didn't even PI anyone. He literally PI'd himself the whole time. What the fuck? Dude, that's crazy. That's insane. What? He's in here with a Frosty K and a Fire Mage, and he just never PIs either of us? Holy fucking lunch, dude. That's insane. That's crazy, dude. Holy fuck. Ragdur, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Welcome back 2 months. Appreciate you. Dude, what? That's crazy. He didn't even PI the tank. There's no PI. Look. No PI. Not even the tank. He didn't PI the tank. He didn't PI me. He didn't PI the DK. He didn't PI the healer. He hardly even PI'd himself. He just didn't PI anyone. Not even himself. He didn't even PI himself. He did PI himself a couple times, but it was like that's too low though. Like he didn't do it enough. He was not using PI very much, like at all. And whenever he did use it, he used it on only himself, which is hilarious. Yeah, PI the tank, dude. I don't know, man. I could excuse the PIing yourself if you, like, do damage, but if you're not doing damage and you're not PIing anyone, I'm a little sus by that. At least do something, right? Yeah, it's a 2-minute CD. Oh, that's hilarious, dude. How's Fire Mage feeling? Good. It's feeling really good. Yeah, I'm liking it. I'm vibing heavy with the new Fire Mage. I'm vibing real heavy with it. I think they could probably buff Living Bomb more though. Because I am like fully invested in Living Bomb and it's still only doing like 10% of my damage. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 talents dedicated to PI. This one technically is like half and half with Flame Strike, but yeah. 1, 2, we'll skip this one. 3, 4 talents dedicated, and it's doing 10% of my damage. That still seems like kind of meh. Especially if you consider the fifth, right? It's like 2%. Yeah, I don't know. It seems kind of bad. Yeah, so I'm playing a special cook today. I'm playing the Council Cleave build I have on Wowhead. So this build sacrifices a lot of single target, but it has better 2-target cleave than like everything. 3-target cleave, 4-target, 5-target AoE, and it just goes up from there. It just keeps going up and up and up. It has a much higher ceiling, and it's break even at 2 targets. So yeah, it seems pretty good. Better 2-target cleave than the Mythic Plus build. Similar to target cleave to single target build, and it is better, 10% better at 3 targets, and it just goes up from there. The highest it goes is 22% ahead of single target in AoE. It's like I think 8 to 9% ahead of Mythic Plus in AoE as well. So it just does like a lot more AoE. It's like way more AoE. But you do sacrifice some single target. As long as you have like 2 targets though, it's big chillin'. Does good 2-target cleave, so. It's crazy that this build goes from being like 13% behind in single target to like even at 2 targets. Like that's such a big gap that it closes. The secret sauce is Blast Zone. Gotta have Blast Zone for this to work. I do have a quick start guide if you want something right now. You can watch my Sun Fury guide and watch the quick start guide, and it's basically like you watch the guide, but I'm going to have a dedicated guide for Frostfire soon. Dev Evoker gameplay soon? Yeah, I'll probably play Dev this weekend. I have a Mythic raid on my Dev this weekend. I'm not really doing many keys on the Dev right now because I'm just holding crests. I've got like over 200 crests stocked up for whenever I get the crest unlock on my main. Because I'm very close to it. I just need a neck and an offhand, and I'll be able to get the catch-up crest. So my crest only costs 10 instead of 15. So like until I get that, I'm kind of not really motivated to play the Dev because I just need to get that crest unlock. I have so many crests sitting on it. It just feels bad to play the Dev because like I look at my character pane and I look at currency and I see that I have like over 200 crests stocked up, and I'm just like, yeah, I can't spend these yet. I gotta wait. You know what I mean? It just feels bad to play. Yeah, this shit seems good. I was pleasantly surprised by how well this did. And I don't have Phoenix Reborn, which feels weird, but like, I honestly didn't even notice that I was lacking Phoenix Flames. It felt completely fine. Yeah, I vibe with this build. I like it. When you Frostfire Bolt? Okay, so it's been long enough since we talked about that, so we'll talk about it again. I'm sure I'm going to repeat myself a lot of times in the stream, but that's fine. So, Frostfire Bolt is in the priority in combustion, outside combustion. Both. It's in the priority above Phoenix Flame if you don't currently have excess frost. So if I have excess frost and I skip it, I do Phoenix Flame to spin the excess frost. And if I do not have excess frost, then I Frostfire Bolt. It's that simple, but it's below Fire Blast. So it goes it goes spinning Pyroblast, maintaining improved Scorch. Obviously you have SKB too, right, in Meteor. Below that it's Fire Blast, and then Frostfire Bolt if I lack excess frost, and then Phoenix Flame. So if no excess frost, use Frostfire Bolt with Frostfire Empowerment. Otherwise, use Phoenix Flame. Yeah, the secret cook on Sikrin, or Silken Court. Happy to say that I figured this out on the fly, like the second poll we did. The secret cook is play Firestarter. Firestarter is insane on that fight. Because then you can line up your combustion, and it's actually perfect timing with Frostfire, so you get the combustion every damage amp. Firestarter is the secret sauce. You knew, Certos, you knew. Yeah, I pulled that boss like once and I was like, wait a second, my timings were really bad there. I wonder if I can fix this. And I looked at the log and I was like, oh, this is perfect. So I just locked in Firestarter, immediately like doubled my damage. I'm not even joking. It actually doubled my damage in P1. It just actually doubled it. And saving the SKB for the damage amp is pretty big too, if you can do that. You can use like, you don't have to like save it forever, just like save the one that comes up right before it. The timings were so off whenever I didn't have Firestarter. It was so off. But what's ideal about that fight for Firestarter is no one pops their cooldowns on the pulse. So you have like a 45-second long Firestarter window, which is like beautiful, right? Because all you're giving up for Firestarter, the only thing you give up for this talent is Pyrotechnics, which is dog shit. This talent is not even a damage gain. Did you know that, chat? I mean, like, we know intuitively that this is a gain, right? But I'm just saying, the gain is so small that Sims can't even detect it. Okay? This is a less than 0.2% damage gain. It is within error. It is such a bad talent for Frostfire. So dog shit. Because it resets every time you get empowered Frostfire Bolt, and that's primarily what you're using Fireball on, is Frostfire Bolt, right? It's with the Frostfire Empowerment. So you actually get, like... It's not hyperbole to say that you actually get nothing out of this talent. So yeah, you give up nothing, and then you gain the ability to delay your combustion so it perfectly lines up with the damage amps. It's fucking great. But yeah, Firestarter isn't like all that great for Frostfire either though, because like with Firestarter, you're just getting more guaranteed crits, and Frostfire has so many guaranteed crits already that you're not like getting a whole lot out of Firestarter. It just helps you. It just picks you up because then you can line up your cooldowns easier. I'm gonna save this build. We'll save it as Blast Wave or Blast Zone. I don't know what he's playing. I didn't check. I'm just taking what the chatter said as truth. But I played Firestarter and that shit went crazy. Where is the Blast Zone icon? Is there a better way to search these? I'm looking for the Blast Zone icon. Oh wait, hold on. I think I just saw it. There it is. Yeah, so this is Blast Zone. This is single target. This is M plus Flame Strike. That's the Ascendance icon? No, that's the Blast Zone icon. Hold on. Let's find out what it actually is. We can look it up. Okay, so the actual icon this is Elemental Devastation, whatever the fuck that is. But it says fire. Look. Shaman stole our icon. It's apparently it's Elemental Devastation, whatever the fuck that means. Yeah, this is not Ascendance. It's Fire Elemental Devastation. They took it from us. See how it says fire in here? The way that they do it is they give it a category and then a class and then they give it the name of the spell. So this is actually a fire icon. So sorry to break it to you, but this was originally a mage icon. It was probably from Classic WoW. Let's see. Classic WoW talents. This is from an old mage talent. Elemental Devastation. That's what we're looking for. I don't see it on here. Maybe it was TBC? When was this icon added? Hold on. The fuck is Elemental Devastation? ID is 135791. 135791. 135791. We can figure this out. Let's get to the bottom of it. Fell element, this one. Okay, so this was in Wrath of Lich King. It was added, I think. So, do you see the icon anywhere, chat? Maybe it was TBC. It could be also Cataclysm. This one kind of looks like it. Going down the tree. This one? It's almost there. Wait, hold on. That's Living Bomb. Yeah, I don't know, man. All I know is it says fire in it. 29180 is from Classic. Oh, so it is in Classic then. Maybe they originally designed it for fire and then they added it to Shaman. All I know is... Yeah, so here's all the abilities it's ever had associated with it. Armageddon, Ascendance, Augment Sight, Blast Zone, Death Stealer, Disintegration. There's a lot. I mean, there's like 103 entries here. It was added in patch 4.2.0, Rage of the Firelands. So it was Cataclysm. Yeah, this was added in Cataclysm. Cata Ellie Shaman? Well, why does it say fire then? Riddle me that. I don't know what the first spell was, but they designed it for fire. Yeah. It's a fire school. No, it's Fire Mage. Prove me wrong. Look, we even have it on our tree twice. That means it's ours. The Shaman have it on their tree twice? Don't think so. Actually, they might. They got some weird talents. Yeah, that's ours. You can't convince me otherwise, sorry. Classic Shaman tree. On Elemental. Hold on, let's see. Elemental Devastation. That is the name. That's green. That's not the same icon. That's a green icon. This isn't the same icon, sir. Look, it's green. No, that's not the same icon. Sorry. You lose. They had a different, lamer version of it. Ours is the cool one. Because it's not green. Okay, let's figure out what I'm doing with these crests. So I was holding my crest because I wasn't sure if I would get a neck or something this week. A neck or an offhand, and I did not get anything. So I actually have 90 crests to spend right now. So we should try and figure out what I'm building with this. Yeah, I just played the build. I played this build. No, not this build. I played this build in Mythic Plus, and this was my overall damage. And it actually wasn't bad. Like, if we go to bosses, so here's the first boss. I did pretty good damage on the boss. And then here was the second boss. It's okay. And then here's the third boss. It wasn't terrible. I would have done more single target with the other build, but like, the AoE is what really, it's what really shined. Where are the drops? They were doing drops. Hold on, let me just make sure that they're still happening. 1 second. So if you're in the chat on Twitch, it should be like under your, or like above the chat at the top there. I believe it was the WoW Anniversary Bundle. Have they closed this up? Is anyone still getting drops for that? I might need to remove that from the title. Are you getting it right now? Rage Sword? Oh, okay, yeah, so there's still drops then. Honestly, I'm not sure what it is. I claimed it already. Oh, here we go. Warcraft 30th anniversary drops now live. Earn the Blackrock Saber, and Keldori War Wolf mounts. It's going till December 5th. You get this thing. This thing. Yeah, Warcraft Rumble thing. Anniversary, player avatar, Sylvanas avatar. You get some Hearthstone shit. That's all in there. Another key? Yeah, I'm going to do some Sims, though. Any off Peacemate? Awesome. Good luck. Is Fire better than Frost for raid now? I think Frost and Fire... Well, so Frost has more single targets still. But Fire is pretty good in the raid. I would say it could be better than Frost, depending on the fight. So I think it's more so a matter of preference. And I definitely prefer to play Fire over Frost. Bigly. Bigly. I fucking hate Frost right now. Fucking hate it. Yeah, Arcane might be the worst. Anybody tried both single target Frostfire Cleave and Blaststone Frostfire on Mythic Plus for comparison? Why they hate? Because I don't like going to the casino and just leaving with an empty hand, you know? I fucking hate Gamba. Frost is... Okay, I don't mind Gamba if I can't feel it. But Frost is bullshit. Because you feel that shit so bad. If you don't get orbs... So, okay. Here's the core of why I don't like Frost, okay? If I'm playing Frost, it's all about getting the orbs to reset, right? Orb resets come from splinters. Splinters come from orbs and Winter's Chill and other stuff, but mainly orbs and Winter's Chill, right? So if you start getting orbs, then you start getting more orbs, and then it starts just like snowballing. And you'll end up in a situation where it's like you did like 10 orbs before your first orb finished. If you get super lucky. Now, so there's that side of things where you're like totally in heaven, right? You're just like procking out your ass. There's also the inverse of that, which is you get no orbs. If you get no orbs, then you're getting less splinters. You get less splinters, you're getting less orbs. So basically, if you get dry, you're just like dried the fuck out. So it's like feast or famine, which is the problem Frost has always had. As a spec, since the very beginning, right? All the way back when they first redesigned Frost after Cataclysm, which, by the way, I was playing Frost before they redesigned it. I've been playing Frost since, like, day fucking 1, dude. I played Frost all the way back. I played Frost in the Cata version. I played Frost after they reworked it. I played Frost in Nighthold whenever it was the double Iceland shit. I played through all the different iterations of it with Glacial Spike, no Frostbolt, only Frostbolt. Like, every different fucking flavor of Frost I have played over the years. And there is one thing that is consistent across every different version of Frost except for one exception. And that thing is it is feast or famine. Okay, and there's one exception to that, which was Dragonflight Frost. That was the only time where they actually fixed it. And they actually did a pretty good job of fixing it, but then they fucked it up again with the hero talents. And I've always had an aversion against Frost because I hate how it feels so feast or famine. Like, that is just not fun. It's not fun to, like, have your damage be so reliant on just getting lucky. And not just your damage, but also your enjoyment. Because if you don't get the frozen orbs, then you feel that shit like crazy. Like, you're just casting Frostbolts. Feels really bad. Whereas fire, on the other hand, bro, luck is not a factor. Like, I mean, it is to a certain extent, but like, it's very minimal, man. The variance is very small. It's more so just about like pressing your buttons well. So that's more my thing. I don't like the super Gamba. Arcane is Gamba too, but you don't feel it as much. I guess you do sometimes with Clearcast procs, but yeah, you don't feel it like as viscerally as Frost does. Also, you have to like play close for the orbs all the time. I don't know, man. I'm not a fan of Frost right now. I tried it. I tried to enjoy it. I played it a lot. And then sometimes you'll just play it well and you just won't get orbs and then your damage sucks. And it's like, oh, what can I do? Well, let me look at logs and see what I could have done better. Oh, just get more orbs. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I'll try to do that next week for Mythic. I'll try to just get more orbs. Cool. Great design. Great design. Love that. But Frostfire Frost actually feels okay. It's just Spellslinger Frost that I don't like. So if I was to play Frost again, I'd probably play Spellslinger Frost just because it's better. But if Frostfire Frost was better than Spellslinger, I would probably be way, way more open to playing Frost. I just fucking hate Spellslinger when it comes to Frost. I hate it. I hate the new one, dude. I hate it. The old one was bad too, but like the new one is just, oh, dude, the orbs, man. It's all just the orbs. I'm gonna have nightmares about not getting orbs. Wow, it's actually saying the crafted ring is an upgrade. Okay, let's do a drop demizer here, or top gear here. Oh yes, don't even get me started on Spellslinger Arcane. You know, I actually liked Arcane a lot this expansion. It was very fun. And then the dark times came. It started with a post. We're removing double dipping. People were up in arms. Everyone said, "What are you doing? This doesn't make sense." Blizzard listened. They put it back. They listened to the angry mob. But we knew, as soon as we heard Blizzard with their intent to remove double dipping, we knew that they were going to do some dumb shit. It would only be a matter of time. So we enjoyed it while it lasted, and then that day came. The day of reckoning. They finally did remove the double dipping. They added in Aether Vision. On paper, it seemed like it would be good. We never really got to test it, though. PTR realms were down the whole time. Couldn't really test it. It was a very short PTR cycle as well. The last 5 days of PTR, the realms were just offline the entire time. So we just took it, you know, as from what we were reading, like on paper, like maybe this isn't so bad. And then we got our hands on it, and it was not good. And yeah, they basically blew up that spec. It feels really sad. It's okay, it's playable. You can play Arcane just fine. It's just, I mean, the enjoyment for me is gone. I just don't like it. I don't like it because I know how fun it was before. If I had never played it, the fun version of it before, I would probably be much more open to it. But the fact that I played a better version of Arcane already, and the fact that I had to learn a new Arcane rotation every other week, I just kind of burnt out of Arcane. Like, why even bother with it? The best version of Arcane was already in the game and got deleted, right? So, yeah, whatever. Who cares? Can you shoot me player friendly name NPC and player, please? It's just Jundy's profile. Just Google Jundy's player. Yeah, I already have a video for a quick start on that, but if you want like a dedicated video, it's coming soon. In the meantime, though, you can always watch my Sun Fury guide and then watch the quick start guide for Frostfire, and it should get you up to speed with everything you need to know. But yeah, a full-on guide is coming soon. You can do exclamation point Frostfire in the chat to get access to that guide, by the way. I'll link it to you. Yep. Not a huge fan of current Frost, yeah. I feel you. Glad to know that you feel the same about Arcane. I was getting 98, 99, reading Sims all the time. Since 8th Division change, I barely do 1 Mythic Plus per week. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's hard. It's hard going back. Whenever you know it's just like not the same. Feels bad. Okay, so I'm just giving this sim some options.
Oh, Savin, thanks for the informative content and answering all our questions.
Thinking about doing a craft here. We can remove this. Don't need expert mode. And let's find the top gear. Critmaw, thanks for the informative content answering all our questions. Resubscribe 2 months. Thank you for the Twitch Prime. Appreciate you. Welcome back. The Living Bomb build you did feels pretty nice. Do you think it's going to take over Standard Mythic Plus build? I don't know. But it could, as long as your damage on bosses isn't bad enough where you're just trolling. I think in 3 boss dungeons, it's probably fine. I think in 4 boss dungeons, you're probably pushing it. Because there's 2 different kinds of Mythic Plus, right? There's the ones with 4 bosses, and there's the one with 3 bosses. It's going to depend on pull count and how many bosses. So I don't recommend this for any 4 boss dungeon. Only Dawnbreaker, Arkara, or Mists of Tyrannusite right now. That might change in the future, but that's what I'm recommending right now. And yeah, this is my details. Is there a Frostfire all-rounder build for Mythic Plus? Yeah, the standard Mythic Plus build that's on my Wowhead guide and elsewhere. If you have no procs, blasts, or flames, you just spam Frostfire Bolt. I mean, the first thing you do is probably shifting power. But yeah, I mean, you would just Frostfire Bolt if you didn't have anything. But like, you'll get stuff back real quick. It doesn't take very long. What's my health bar made of? Health points, man. What do you mean? So is Frost not the strongest now? No, I think Frost is still the strongest. It's just Fire is definitely a contender. I just don't like Frost right now. I don't like the current design of it, so. I'm enjoying Fire, though. Fire is so fucking good. Like, the design of Fire is so fucking good. Whoever designed Fire, take that same energy and put it towards the others. Because, like, you did a really good job with Fire. Fire feels solid as fuck. In fact, it's felt solid as fuck the entire time. The issue was always the damage. It was never the playstyle. The playstyle for Fire was solid. Solid as fuck. It's the playstyle that sucks. Player unit frame? Oh, you're asking about my cell unit frames. Yeah, Google sell unit frames. What's the main stats? Haste, baby, all the way. Haste to the moon, and then also verse. But sim your character. Always best to sim your own character. Don't trust what streamers tell you for stats. Don't trust what random people on the street tell you for stats. Don't trust what your mom and dad tell you for stats. Sim your own character. That's the only way to know for sure. But it's probably going to be haste and verse. What do you think about Frostfire versus Sunfury, though? Sunfury is more burst, and it takes way, way shorter amount of time to get going. So, like, Sunfury is still very good. It's just Frostfire is, like, 4% better in single target, so... I think Frostfire is the preferred spec for raid, personally. But I think there are some fights where Sunfury is probably better. Like, Brood Twister comes to mind. That's a good one, I think, for Sunfury. It'll take time to be able to give like a more detailed synopsis. But yeah, I think it's like Sunfury is still really good for the burst AoE. It's just, you know, Sunfury is less single target. That's the main thing. Yeah, I mean, you can play Fire Mythic Plus just fine. You can do good damage. I've been doing good damage as Fire. Can you explain why it's verse now instead of Mastery? There's no need for an explanation. You sim it and you go with which one is best. But if you really want to know, I can like speculate. But yeah, I mean it's you know, don't overthink it, right? Just sim it and see what your best stat is. You don't need to know why. Just, you know, see what's the best. If I had to guess, it's probably because Comet Storm. Because Frostfire has a lot of damage coming in. It doesn't really do Ignite. So, like, I think that's why Mastery is undervalued. But I don't know that for sure. It's just, intuitively, Frostfire has a lot more damage coming in that doesn't cause Ignite. So it just seems like Ignite would be worse, right? Because you got Isothermic Core. You got your Frostfire little infusions happening, right? You got your little Frostfire bursts. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here that doesn't cause Ignite. So, yeah, intuitively, that's why I think it might be better, is because Mastery only benefits if you have Ignite coming from that spell. And if you don't have Ignite coming from the spell, then... And if it's a considerable amount of your damage, right? Like, if we go back to my damage, Comet Storm is my number 2. Comet Storm does not cause Ignite. Right? Ice Nova, no Ignite. Right, so we can look at our spells and where the damage is coming from, and we can already rule out so many of these spells because they don't do Ignite. So yeah, that's going to make Mastery worse. But versatility just increases all your damage, right? It doesn't have to be Ignite. It's everything. You miss Legion Fire Mage? I miss how good those bracers were, yeah. That was fun. I like Current Fire, though. I like it a lot. Current Fire feels really good. Bless you. Yeah, you don't use stat weights. No, you don't use stat weights. You do what I'm doing. You do top gear. You tell it what gear is in your bags, and you give it options, and you just see which one turns out the best. Won't we get bracers again next season? Yes. Yes, we're getting the hyper-thread bracers back, which is exciting. That just means more fire blasting. We love it. We love it. Okay, so all of these were a gain, but let's just look at individually. Which one is the best? Yeah, I swapped to dwarf and it went up quite a bit. Oh, I didn't look at the gems. What was the gems it said? Yeah, so it's exactly what I thought. It's first in haste. Yeah, okay. So we can take off some computation time by just removing these. Or remove this one. 2. There it goes. Remove curse haste. Okay, so this will make it much faster. Okay, so how do I make it so that this is like a pick one kind of situation? How do I do this? Let's just rerun it. Should be faster this time by a lot. Is anyone in the chat playing Classic right now? I started a hardcore character. I'm at like level 10. And then I felt... Dude... I don't know what it is, man. It's just so slow. I lose interest. I lose interest so fast. I'm just like, okay, cool. I'm level 10 and I'm like, wait, I've been playing this for like a long time already. How am I only level 10? And I'm thinking to myself like, oh god, it's going to take like twice as long just to get to 20. And 20 is like where I can start AoE farming. If I can make it to 20, I will probably keep playing it. But getting to 20, I just don't know if I can do it. I don't know if it's in my blood. Because I'm too excited about Fire Mage right now. Just like that 1 to 20 timing, right? Like from all the way from level 1 to 20, it just feels so fucking slow, man. So slow. I log into Classic, it's like I'm just watching paint dry. Once I hit 20, I feel like I'm going to start feeling it. Like, especially 25, things are going to start feeling really good. But up until that point, it's just going to feel like so shit. So boring. I don't mind it once we start the AoE stuff. The AoE stuff is actually fun. I enjoy AoE. But up until I get to the AoE, it's just like... It's just so slow. Dude, am I really going to do double crafted ring? It is the biggest gain for me. Double crafted. That just feels stupid, though. That feels so dumb. Oh, man. Ain't no way I'm doing double crafted ring. When to expect a full-on fire guide? I don't have an ETA yet. We also get the ring next patch. Probably wouldn't do double ring. Yeah. That's why I'm saying there's no way I'm doing that shit. No fucking way. Let's see. It is the biggest game for me right now, though. Double crafted. It's actually a pretty big gain, too. Surprisingly so. What I really need is the mythic version of the ring I have right now. I really need a mythic key to the unseeming. Afternoon, it's a trap. Double ring is a trap? I think the smart play is to do a neck even if I don't use it necessarily, because it gives me the item level up to 636. So that means I'd need one item level, one upgrade for the neck, one upgrade for the offhand. That'd be 30, which means I'm just done with crusts like for the rest of the season. And since I have 120 and I'd be spending 90, that's exactly the amount I need. What talents did I try on this last one? So this was my cook. This one right here. How'd it fare? I mean, you can see the damage meters. It was actually pretty good. It exceeded expectations, no lie. And on bosses, it wasn't bad either. I was afraid of its damage on bosses, but like the first boss is 2 targets, so it's fine. The second boss is, it's not necessarily 2 target the whole time, but it's like multi-target, so it was fine there too. And then the last boss has AoE too, so like actually there's no boss where it's just pure single target, so like it was completely fine in Mists. And Mist is only a 3 boss dungeon anyways. So yeah, it seems like pretty fucking good Mist. I think I'll probably play this in Mist every time from now on. It seemed like it was just really good. Crest being uncapped, I mean, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, Chief. I don't think it matters if crests are uncapped. I don't think that actually matters. What matters is how many Valor Stones you can get. That's the bottleneck. And how many crests you can farm without going crazy. Because right now the crest cap is like, what, 1,000? Yeah. dude, there's no way you need, like... After next week, there's no way you need more crests. I'm sorry. There is a guide, Chris, already, but more to come. I think fire for Silken. No cap. I think you'll have a better experience. If fire and frost are close, I am always going to say fire. Yeah, I still play Devastation. I'll be doing a Mythic raid this weekend. Does Comet Storm also benefit from Combust? Yeah, it does. It just doesn't ignite or anything, but yeah, it makes a crit. Like, if you look at my Comet Storms, the majority of them crit. Not all of them. I never get all of them, but, like, most of them crit, so. But yeah, it's 70% crit chance, and my crit chance is only 25%. So, yeah. This fucking egg would be huge for me too. Yeah, 12 from it. Dude, they're so evil. Wait, so this neck is 0.6? Was this low confidence? Oh, okay, yeah. So this beating that out. The ring is 0.6. 9,000. What was the double ring? It's not low confidence. It's the same. Dude. Oh, fuck, dude. Am I gonna craft this ring right now? Chat, I think I'm gonna craft this ring. I don't know if you can stop me. I know I said I wouldn't do it, but I think I might do it. I think I might do it. Because, like, the raid ring is only 0.6. This one is 0.7. It's, like, the same. And if it's the same, then I just don't need to get that ring. And there's, like, that's such a fucking high competition item. Oh, hi, baby. You guys want to see a cat? Yeah, I'll get a ring to replace it anyways. I could get a ring in the vault, you're right. My cat's in my lap right now. Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna craft it. We're doing it right now. Fuck it. Why not? Why not craft a ring?
My directive is to serve
Who can stop me anyways? If I get a neck from raid, it's going to be 2 out of 6. So that's 4 upgrades, 15, 30. So it's 60 plus 1 on the weapon. That's 75. I'll get 90 next week. Yeah, there's actually no reason not to. It's done.
I have calibrated my prices to be reasonable.
No, it's just that my Unbound Changeling is 639. That's why I'm using it. I don't have another 639 trinket. All I have is Changeling and the book. Oh, it's 2 words.
I have an extended supply of goods for Outlanders.
We'll do a public order. Fire's good. Fire's good, Frost's good. Fire's competitive. Yo, what's up? Okay, someone already did it. Good shit.
Has been fulfilled. My directive is to serve you.
Can't believe I'm about to rock double crafted rings when I have the goddamn Seal of Poison Pact in my bag. It's crazy. It's more enjoyable than SS Frost. It depends on the content, if you're talking about what's better. There's like 9 million people per hour coming into the chat saying, is Fire the best? Is Fire better than this? The answer is always more nuanced, right? But I'd say it's competitive with it. And that's what matters, right? It's an option. It is on the table now. Before, Fire was not on the table. You couldn't really play it. It was not competitive. Now it is. And is it better than Frost? Well, that depends on lots of things. But it can be better. It can be better. And that's what gives me hope. Because I enjoy it. I find it to be way more fun. I think on some fights it is absolutely better. On a fight like Sikrin, no. Frost is always going to be better. Because it's just better single target, right? But I think on pretty much every boss except for Sikrin, it is competitive. Even Kaveza, because there's a lot of movement there. So the Flame Strike targets are on my Wowhead guide and also in the latest video I put out. But basically the idea with Flame Strike is it's not just about how many targets. It's about the situation that you're in. The state of the mobs and their health. But let's assume the mobs will live forever. It's 8 targets. 8 targets for Inside of Combustion to do Flame Strike. 3 or more targets if you have SKB Flame Strike. And Outside of Combustion, it's more like 9 or 10 targets. But yeah, you can just say 8. But that's not factoring for mobs like dying at a normal pace, which is a big thing to factor for. So if mobs are going to die at a normal pace, you probably want to flame strike anyways, like starting 4 or 5 targets. So if you're doing a key that's like below a 12, you're probably wanting to like flame strike at maybe 5 targets. It's technically worse, but pretty much any key below 12, the targets have like low health. Like they're going to die before you can get going. Frostfire takes a while to get going too, so it's probably best that you just like immediately get to flame striking. Oh, oops. I forgot to put my crust in here.
My thanks for your patronage.
Just saw your court log. Good shit. Just curious if you ran Changeling over Sack just because it's mid-track. Yes, because it's mid-track. That's right.
I have
And by the way, it only beats out my
calculated
Sack, my Hero Trek Sack by like a very small margin. Changeling is not good. It's just, it's the best I have. If I could choose, I would not use it. I would use something else. Really, anything else. I'd use the egg. I'd use a sack. There's other trinkets I would use from Mythic Plus in the vault that over the Changeling, but I just don't have them. So, yeah, Changeling it is.
My directive has been fulfilled.
Yeah, if you want my UI, do exclamation point UI in the chat. We're going to craft up this ring real quick. I can't believe I'm going to wear a double crafted ring. This is crazy. It is the best choice for me, though. Yeah, Arcane is viable, too. All 3 specs are actually pretty close now. But it's a matter of preference. So that comes down to what you enjoy. And also what the fight might demand. One blasphemy. Yeah, you won't catch me playing Arcane anymore. Until they buff it or something. I might do it later if I try to parse. It might be fun to try and like parse up Fire, Arcane, and Frost. I'm going to start with Fire because I'm actually enjoying myself. It's been a while too. It's been a while since I've had this much fun. You're surprised the crafted ring isn't unique? It's pretty standard for it to not be unique. Unless there's like another option for it that's not embellished. Do you not like SS at all? I didn't mind Spellslinger, Arcane, or Frost initially. But as time goes on, the RNG gets to me, man. And eventually I reach a breaking point. Brood Twister Mythic? I'd probably play Sun Fury Fire on that fight if I could do it again. Frostfire Fire was okay, but I think Sun Fury Fire will have better timings on it. I might give it another shot though. I played like some Living Bomb shit that was kind of troll. So if I could do it again, I would probably swap up the build a bit. But Sun Fury is probably going to do better on Brood Twister, just like overall. It's got more burst for the AoE.
My directive is to serve you.
Also, the timings on Frostfire were just dog shit. Maybe if I played Firestarter, it would fix it though. Yeah, I didn't try that. Firestarter might fix the timings on Brood Twister.
Return and peruse my inventory again.
You lost the pull though, so that, I don't know, man. I think Sun Fury is the way to go. If you're lusting the pull. All right, 2 green, blue, red, purple. Yep, good to go. I like having a lot of verse. It feels good. I'm going to swap up my weapon enchant though. I'm going to go Radiant Power. They're very close in single target, but just has better AoE, so I'll probably just stick with Radiant Power from now on. I CBA changing my fucking enchant on my weapon all the time. Yeah, you should try Fire if you haven't given it a try. It's really fun. Is it better than Arcane for raids? Probably yes. I think it's either Fire or Frost. At least to me, that's how I feel about it. Although, I think Arcane still is pretty good on Kaveza just because the defensiveness of it's just really fantastic. Oh, using that flame accelerant was bad, actually. Oh, thanks for the combustion after I fucking invised. Appreciate the game. I just gave the Mythic Plus build a go. Feels really good. The build you used in the mist. Yeah. Cool. That's that living bomb shit. Hell yeah, dude. That's the cook. If Meteor is available, use with SKB or main combust. Basically, the idea with Meteor is you need to have combust up whenever it hits in single target. So just make sure combust is up whenever it hits. You can do that either by doing it this way, where it's like you like use it before combustion, right? So like I could use it here and then use combustion right here. That's fine. I could also do it after an SKB. That's fine too. As long as it hits during the combust. So that one, I believe it still should have... Oh, it didn't hit. Yeah. So that one was too late. Meteor's weird. It's, it determines if it crits. I think it's on impact now. It used to be whenever the meteor spawned in the air. But I think it's on impact because that one didn't crit. So yeah, that was too late. I think the amount of time you need for meteor, I think there's a weak core that tracks it, but maybe it's like 3 seconds. Meteor macro? It's just, at cursor meteor. Yeah, I mean, you should have, some Blaster Master, but, like, Blaster Master isn't as good as it used to be. So, actually, the time it takes for meteor to hit actually depends on your haste. So, it could be less than 4. Basically, whenever you press meteor and it spawns in the air, so like, look, if I press it, it's going to spawn right now. That amount of time until the meteor actually spawns depends on your haste, but I think Frostfire might have changed it with Isothermic Core. But yeah, it should be around 3 to 4 seconds, I think, on average. Frostfire Mythic Plus as single for Prio or go for Flame Strike. It depends on the key level. And how quickly the mobs are going to die and if people are using cooldowns. There's a lot of factors. You just got to go off vibes, man. The like technical best thing to do is like at 8 targets you use it in bust. I think it's like at 9 outside the bust, at 3 or more with SKB. But like that's not factoring for how long the mobs are going to live. That's assuming the mobs are going to live for a full 5 minutes, which is just not going to happen. Thank you. Yeah, so Frostfire can do more than Sunfury and AoE, but it takes longer to get started, and so you're going to have the impression that it's worse because in most keys, by the time Frostfire is going, and it finally reaches like its point where it's like doing damage, the keys, the pull's already done. Whereas Frostfire can just get the damage out much faster and it's more bursty. So unless you're doing like super high keys or you just have like 1 DPS just hard trolling the key, you're probably going to do better as Sunfury because you'll have more time in the key to actually get the damage out. But over a prolonged period, Frostfire is pretty fucking good. Or if you have the right approach, but yeah. Yeah, and like a 10, like Frostfire is just going to get bullied by like Fury Warriors and Elemental Shaman and shit. So if I was playing with them, I'd probably play Sunfury. But anyways, I'm going to end the stream here so I can work on the fire guide more. I just wanted to do a quick stream because I knew people had answers and I wanted to give you time to get those questions in and get your answers, and also so I could get my character set up to craft because I knew I was going to craft something. So yeah, I'll spend the rest of the time that I would have streamed today probably just working on the fire video. And yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm going to be probably doing some Mythic Plus testing, maybe even some raid, maybe some alts. We'll see. We'll figure it out. There's pros and cons, Aztec. It's not that simple. You can't simplify it down to that, to just one thing. Okay? It's not that simple. It's just Frostfire takes longer to get going, right? So that's a disadvantage, and it does mean that you'll probably have a better time in Sunfury, Sunfury in a lower key, but I'm not telling you to play Sunfury in a low key. Okay, that's a different... It's a different statement. Yeah? Just... I mean, just review what I said, yeah? Anyways, that is it. So I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.